Hi and welcome to Excel Plus. Everything you want to know about Excel but were too afraid to ask. So here we are, tutorial 6 in the creation of the dynamic dashboard, and we're at the stage now where we're creating the waterfall chart, which will redraw itself based on the parameters we choose. So let's have a look at the one I did earlier. Change to budget, change to forecast, back to prior year, select the month, redraws itself nicely. Right, let's get back to this chart, and these are the rows that are essentially working the magic. So the bridge itself is just an indexing formula built up from the data we have there. So as you can see, it's all working from the cell that the radio buttons are connected to, and it will then select the respective prior year budget or forecast bridge. Starting point, in this case prior year, always the same endpoint, actual, and then the numbers that make up the difference between the two. Right, so in terms of the plot area for the waterfall chart, this is the plot area, the names of the columns, the very first one, the initial, which is that, the final, which we just need one number, that's our endpoint, that's that, and invisible, now that's the placeholder. Let's have a look. This is the invisible data, which acts as somewhere on which to put the movements. So if we move back, so this is going to be a stacked column or stacked bar chart, and the invisible element essentially wants to be the cumulative amount less any positive. We can ignore negatives, just less the positives. So if you think cumulatives 900,000, positives 50,000, we want the placeholder to come up to 900 and then hide itself, and then put one little block of 50 on top. If it's negative, then the negative amount has already removed itself in the cumulative, so the block that's on top is still fine, and it's almost tracking down. You can look at the chart, change back to forecast. The negatives track down to the new amount, track down to the new amount, and the positives build up. So that's absolutely fine. We don't have to remove them. So a simple formula, just subtract positive amounts from the cumulative, ignore negatives, and then we just sort them into the relative column. Positives go in that one, change, there we go, negatives in this one, and again they always then have to have a positive sign as they have to be added into the graph. NA is good to use rather than zeros, as the NA formula basically will ensure the graph returns nothing. If there's no value there, the data labels won't be created, they won't have zero values. So when you're working with graphs, the NA formula is really good if you want certain bits of the graph to just not appear. But then again, you may have a formula which will then bring a number at that cell at a later date. Right, so let's just draw the graph, and now there is another tutorial on this, so please just consult that if I'm going a little too quick here, but I really want to get this finished in this tutorial and get it under 20 minutes. Sorry, under 10 minutes. Right, let's have a look. This is going to make up the graph. So insert, column, stacked. And that looks very much like our chart already. So now the axis don't look that good, but we can work on that later. So we want to be between, let's change back to budget, we want to be between 900,000 and a million. So let's format those axes, fixed and fixed. the minimum value, let's put it in at 920,000. Maximum value at 110. There we go. Alright, and that tracks reasonably well. It could be a little, could have been a bit smaller on the y-axis, but we'll sort that out later. Right, we don't need the series on the side. This is a quick formatting job. We don't need those horizontal marks. And this is the invisible amount. As you can see, it's nicely placing those on top, but we need to get rid of it. So I'll just click on that column, right click, format data series, fill, no fill. Away it goes. It's looking a little more familiar. Now we need to widen those columns, do we not? So let's take the no gap down to about 2%. Maybe make it 4%. That's a little better. Now, the colours aren't really very good. And tell you what, let's get something that's got both positive and negative in. Those amounts aren't very impressive. Right, let's stick with positive to start with. And let's change the colours. So, format series, let's have that fill, a nice dark blue. Same with that one, and that's this data series. Let's have the start and end points and the positive variances in the same colour. And let's have, change that to 3. Let's have the negative amounts in, let's have them a dark red so they stand out. Now let's format some more. I don't really like right click, format chart area, don't like a fill, don't like borders. There we are. There's the chart virtually done. Let's copy that, cut it, Control and X, go to our summary, Control and V, let's fit it in nicely. See, without borders, very, very easy to get it to fit, look nice. Now, what did I give it? I give it a title. Right then, year-to-date bridge. There. Let's call it the same thing. Chart, layout, chart title. Year-to-date. Year-to-date bridge. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Oh, we need to add some data labels. Right click, add data label. Right click, add data label, and same on that series, add data label, and same on that one. As you can see, they're not that easy to pick out. So let's go and format them. Those ones we want white text, and we want the fill to be the same as the background. Same on that one, and same on that one. And as you can see, even now when the slice is too small to see, at least you'll see the data label, and for the negative amounts, white, but we'll have our fill at the dark red. So even when our slices now don't really show up too well, you can see the data labels and track them across. So that's looking pretty good. Now, unfortunately, when we change our selection, doesn't really work that well because it's not redrawing itself. Let's move that budget one down a little. It's not really redrawing itself, which isn't what we want. But as luck would have it, I have a macro already in for that. Let's see if we can quickly, just a minute left, let's see if we can quickly go onto the developer tab, Visual Basic, right, let's go click on the region revenue, delete that, and then go into modules, macros. Now the key thing here is the name of the chart. So currently it's in there as chart 17. Let's right click on the chart, layout, chart 10, and we definitely don't want that. Change that to chart 17 and we'll see if it works. Let's have a look. Yes, it's redrawing itself based on those parameters. Brilliant. Let's compare this. Yeah. Let's compare it with the original. It's looking pretty good. Let's. Oh no, wait a sec. No, it's not. It's not doing it. Right, let's figure out why. Oh, I think I'm out of time. Right, so we'll hold that one there and we'll start on the macro. We'll have a little investigation and we'll figure out why that isn't redrawing the graph. And I'll be back with you in the next tutorial soon. So any questions, any queries, you just email them to me. You just let me know. I'll answer them if I can. I'll find someone who can if I can't. So keep on enjoying the Excel. It's pretty good stuff. Put down that guitar, put it away, turn that Marshall amp off, get back to Excel. That's where the action is.